Hello.
I'm recording also.
Yay, how does it get it better?
I was clever.
Yes, you are. You always are. You kind of surprise me. Although not really, because I don't really roll with dummy people, so they're not really a surprise. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the magical fairy. I like to call you like that. Mr. Satu Lindgren, since you now changed. And since you went to Croatia and been through some transformational classes, you are now Mr. Satu Lindgren. So how does it get any better?
That's what they call me in Croatia. Always confuse them. But also, should we just say that there's Romanian translation? Maybe why not just say that in Romanian?
Bună seara tuturor! Avem și traducere în limba română. Și linkul pentru Zoom-ul, pentru traducerea în limba română se găsește în anunțul pe care tocmai l-am făcut mai devreme pe grup. So that was the Romanian. Don't I sound different?
You sound good. I was like, can we just continue with that?
Oh, we can totally do that. Absolutely. You know what? Never mind. You can just sit there and be pretty, and I will do the talking. So good.
Oh, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this not fun conversation, not at all. We are like super serious, especially when we get together. We are like, oh, tight and squeaky.
And the topic is also extremely serious.
Absolutely.
Maybe I should just introduce myself. My name is Satu Lindgren. I'm an access consciousness talk to the entities facilitator.
Yes, you are. And a magical creature, which I like to, that's how you are in my phone. You're like the fairy.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I keep looking at the Facebook Live and it's completely like frozen, so I hope it's still like working there. But
are we already started?
Oh, it might be working.
Maybe our disembodied friends are already joining. It's just like.
I also found the link. I'm gonna just post the translation link here. I'm not sure if that works quite that way. At least there's the meeting ID. I did some technical stuff here just for the fun of it. But yeah, so basically talking about entities, I've a lot of interesting stuff, and we've had some interesting conversations about entities as well. Yes. And I also have this like a special class coming up about monsters. Or
my God. Yes, please do. Say more, because I was so...
Are you scared of the monster called you? And what I actually really wanted to talk about today is this, how much when we have a point of view, we stop actually being aware of what's really going on, and then we think that we are seeing monsters.
Say more, please.
Yeah, because how often, like, so many people have this point of view that entities are like bad or scary or all these kinds of stuff, and that they're all these like bad creatures and monsters. And even at these classes, we do talk about demons, and people make them seem like they're some monsters or bad, but they're really not.
Well, the significance, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's Romanian, you like being significant about stuff.
Well, hey, we're the country of Dracula, so if we don't make that significant, like...
That's true. Should we make it like really significant and tell everybody that like my skin is always cold and sun always is way too bright for me and I cannot stand garlic?
Definitely garlic is on the no list.
Yeah. So, and there's these like all kinds of beings who are just different, and when we try to look at them through our mind, it makes when our mind has not seen something before, it will automatically label it as scary, as bad, as horrible, as to be avoided. And it might not be
protection, right? From.
Yeah, exactly. Protecting us
Yeah.
from what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very
From-
good question. From what?
From awareness. So how many of you are using your mind as a way to protect you from accessing awareness?
No, not me. Never done it ever.
Yeah.
Maybe I heard other people do it. So
Yeah, other people do it. And well, that's basically just how our mind functions. That's the only thing our mind is capable of, defining what it knows and then excluding everything else. And I wonder also how much of what we are as infinite beings that our mind cannot understand or define. So then it tries to exclude different parts of you also out of you.
oh, that one. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that, are you scared of the monster called you?
You mean like all the yummy parts and brilliant parts and those like super creative and all those?
Intense.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how much are you all who are watching this trying to find you or define you through your mind? And then you get scared. You find all these things where like, no, I shouldn't go there. I shouldn't be that. That's bad. That's evil. That's horrible.
Funny you would say that because today I was looking at this, this topic and this class, and yeah, it brought up a lot of stuff, which I was like, I didn't expect that to be there. And like that being just like the top layer, where I wonder like what else is like underneath that.
Yeah.
And yeah, totally like truly super curious to like explore that and like wonder what will that create.
And there's a lot of like, I, for example, have this friend who is really intense. Like, he's very intense and he tries not to be, and he thinks it's somehow bad to be that intense. And then, for example, one day I was with him somewhere and I couldn't find my phone. I was like, where is my phone? Like, I can't find my phone. And I was like, where is my phone? And then he just turns to me like, where is the phone? With so much intensity, but with that much intensity in the question, I immediately just turned and I walked over to the phone. I was like, it's here.
There you go.
And that intensity is not bad. I was like, oh, that was so cool. Like, that you can be that intense when you ask a question and actualize something immediately.
Totally. Or when you're being super intense with someone that like snaps them out of a thinking loop or something like that. Because while you were saying, I had something similar with a friend that I was going in my mind, blah blah blah, and she just turned at me and she didn't even say something, but with that super intense and present energy, and I just boom, I snapped out of it. So okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But it was super intense. Yeah.
And then we somehow think that that's wrong, or that's anger, or that's like you're aggressive. And
Totally.
then
Too much.
yeah. And then we try to like ask questions or change things from this like, I wonder if it would be this. I wonder if I can. What else is possible?
That's totally the space of opening doors and
Sure, everything will change when you.
right? Yeah.
So,
Like what else is possible as long as I don't step on anybody's toes or I don't scare anyone with my abilities or stuff like that.
or I didn't scare myself.
Oh, that, yeah, that one too.
Find the monster of consciousness that you actually are.
Oh, I love that. And it never shows up the way we think it does.
Nope.
What if it's like a total monster of like total kindness, a monster of total kindness. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an invitation to the monster class. And then also like, cause somebody just pointed out to me recently that I seem to have a capacity with monsters in general and all these like creatures, which obviously I had not even thought about. Since we never really considered the capacities that we have as capacities. So that's the other thing that I actually wanted to talk a bit about today.
Please do. Please say more, because you got me like, oh, this is intriguing. This isn't going where I was, like what I thought it would.
This actually the whole like the monster class that I, by the way, have in December 16th and 17th.
Oh, I will share some details. Where
you will share, good.
I will. I haven't been a bad girl, so I haven't like shared anything, but I will not keep it a secret, I promise.
Maybe we will keep it a secret. But yeah, so the whole class came about when I was talking with a friend of mine about monsters. I was telling some examples that I've had like encounters with some entities, and she was like, whoa, like I never thought of that. I'm like, why not? I mean, these are just creatures just as anyone or any other being as well. But the thing with like all of this, like I'm going a long way to a lot of people often say that I want to see entities, or why am I not seeing, like physically actually seeing entities? And I always ask, like, are you sure you want to see them?
Good question, yeah.
Because there's all kinds of stuff. It's not just like your grandma or someone like that, or fairies. There's all kinds of creatures around us all the time. They don't look necessarily the way that is pleasant for you, or that like fits your reality.
Yeah, what's described like in this reality, oh nice and godly or whatever. Yeah.
And I had some years ago this experience when I was just about to facilitate a foundation class. Like it was Monday and the class was about to start like Thursday. And then there was suddenly this like super, I was alone at home and this like loud crash, almost like a meteorite or something hit the house. And I was like, whoa, like what was that? And then after that, I started hearing all these like from the downstairs, all these like really angry, like slashing, like smashing things and throwing things around, and this just really like aggressive energy. And I'm a little different. I didn't really care. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, somebody is angry there, but it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't actually affect me. You know, there's just somebody angry downstairs, whatever. But then my roommate came home and her room was downstairs, and she was like, what?
What's going on?
And she was so scared. I was like, oh my God, like what is happening here? I was like, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And then I turned towards the energy and I noticed this creature being who did not look like a person at all. This was this massive creature with like tentacles and it looked like weird. And I was like, okay, cool. Very aggressive. And then I was like, hey, what are you here for? And then the first thing that popped in my head immediately was like, hey, are you here for the foundation? And it's like, yes, very aggressively. And I was like, well, cool. Foundation starts on Thursday, not today. So you need to sit pretty until then, and you need to bring somebody to pay for it.
Oh, I love that.
And those were just the first words that popped in my head. And I watched this creature go to sit in a closet. Literally.
Oh, so it didn't like left. It wanted to ensure its spot in the foundation class.
Yeah. So it went to sit in a closet and it's there like.
I love it.
Cool.
And I love like about all the talk to the entities. Well, access consciousness in general, but especially talk to the entities tools, because they're so freaking empowering and gives you the ability to deal with anything and not make anything like greater than you, your ability. And yeah,
that's what
I wonder what can we explore in the entity realm also.
That's what Shannon always says about toxic entities classes, that they are these incredibly empowering classes. And that's why a lot of people don't want it. It's not just that they don't want to know about entities, but they don't want to be empowered like that.
Well, yeah, totally, because you can't be like pathetic and deal with entities. It just doesn't work. You like
Yeah.
really have to step up your game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And the funny thing with this story is that then a few hours later, I get a message from somebody asking me like, can I still come to the foundation? And I was like, sure, you can. And then a little after that, I was like, wait a second. And I turned to this entity and I'm like, is this your payment? Yes.
Still angry. Okay.
And I was like, okay, awesome. And then the class starts, and I had this class at my home. So then the class starts, and these people are sitting on a couch, and then this entity walks there as well and sits like next to them. And then the whole class, I keep looking at it, and I'm like, do I need to talk about you, or like, do I need to talk about something related to this? And the whole time was like, no, I don't need to mention about it. And then after 2 days, it left.
Oh, wow.
And it had what it came for. And the funniest thing is that the person who came to that class was repeating, so she paid the half price. So basically for 2 days of class.
It didn't want to give you any tip or anything. Wow. And now actually what popped, I wonder how much also the entities contributed to us when we came back from Croatia, so that we had like, well, of course it was our choice and our demand to have our reality, but how much did they also contribute to have so much ease on the road and in the airplane and on the airport with not wearing masks anywhere and just having like so much fun basically with everything, no matter what was going on uh, around us.
Yeah. A lot of people just see entities as this bad thing or as something that you just need to get rid of. But really, it's just, it's like people. Do you want to get rid of all the people? Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
but really, like, it's not bad or it's not wrong. It's also not good or perfect. It's just something that if you have the tools and the willingness to use them, you can create way greater for you and also for everyone else too. And they do desire to contribute. Not all of them, but many do.
Yeah. And as you said when we were talking previously, I wonder how much we can contribute to this, like, and this separation between the entity world and the embodied beings.
Yeah.
And I'm getting this is just like the beginning, and like what else is possible with playing with these energies.
And the funny thing is that we like create that artificial separation from the entity world, and we pretend that, well, I'm not seeing anything, so there must not be anything there. While all the while, there's all these entities around you the whole time. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they're not there. And then we have this like point of view that I don't want somebody to watch me when I shower.
It's funny, I've never thought of that.
But the thing is, like, whether you notice it or not, they are watching.
And some of them are actually like really demanding, because what I got when we were heading back from Croatia, like when we were in the car and I told you, hey, like, these entities are demanding that you do a class, like a live class with you and your body coming here to Romania. And like, I wonder what would that create. And whenever we are in the works of, we're playing with that also. But yeah, truly, like, what else is possible?
And like the funny thing with that though is like when we have that need for privacy and that we need to have this like pretend that there's nobody there or that we can be alone, we're just excluding oneness. we're making sure that we can never have oneness. We're making sure that we cannot have like telepathic communication, because we want to keep things secret. We want to have our own, like, nobody can see me now.
Oh, I love that. The whole like being seen thing.
Yeah.
It's on the like really, really big on the entity world, and also another story with the embodied beings like around. And yeah, what else is possible with that too?
And that's like literally where all of this magic and all these capacities that we hope that we had for a different world, it exists there in the awareness of everything that is, which does include entities quite dynamically. There's plenty of them. So yeah, if you're really looking to create a different world, you have to include everything that is in the world.
Oh, I love that.
And since we are talking about the monsters and all of that, like the scary stuff, one tool that I would like to give for everybody, if you ever encounter an entity and you're like, oh my God, this feels so scary and it's like a horrible thing, is to ask, are you scared of the entity, or is the entity scared?
Like scared in general, or of you, or it can be both?
Could be both.
Oh, cool. I love it. Oh, wow.
Because I recently encountered this entity that I was like, it was so scary that I almost basically peed my pants, but I was too scared to do that. And then I was like, wait a second. And then I realized that it's not like the entity itself is not bad or anything. The entity is like paralyzed from fear. And then I found out that he had died in this like extremely traumatic way. So then he was full of this like paranoia, fear, all of that. And I was just aware of that. And then when it's like, oh, it's not mine, that good old tool, who does this belong to? It works here.
Yeah, it works in the entity world also. Wow. I love that.
And then I was like, oh, I'm not scared of you. And then the whole thing like changed completely, and I was able to talk with this being, use some clearings, and completely change the whole thing. And it was really, I was so amazed, so grateful, and just how fast these tools work is freaking miraculous.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you for sharing like so many stuff and tools and your experience. And I love that you're so brave. And with the monster class, we're like, who the fuck else calls their classes like that? I love it. So yeah, thank you for playing with me and with us, with everyone tonight. And I will be a good girl and share the details with whoever is interested in playing. And truly, what else is possible? And how much fun can these little monsters have?
Yeah, and really, like, what if you are the monster that everybody else is scared of, and you're just picking it up, but you think that you're scared? So, yeah. Welcome to class. Welcome to the monster class or talk to the entities classes. We'll give you links and stuff. And yeah, don't be too bad, because that would be too bad.
Too much fun. Yeah. Thank you, Satu.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, and have an awesome night, and maybe if you watch it in the future, have a good day, and don't have too much fun, because that is bad.
And thank you for Marius for translating. And
oh yes, thank you. Oh my God, thank you for translation. And let's
mulțumesc.
All right. Could you speak Romanian too? Do you still remember the cuss word?
I don't think I should say it. Most of the Romanian that I know, I probably shouldn't say it in live, but I can say it in a class. But I can say te iubesc.
Oh, and we love you too. Thank you, Satu.
Good night.
Have a
Napsibuna. Napsibuna.
There we go. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.